What's going on, guys? 9:21 at night, still Sunday, the 30th of March, 2025. We're getting news reports for a while now, well, this past weekend, that someone was trying to find a way to get President Trashbag a third run. By law, by the U.S. constitutional amendments that was passed, he can't. He's limited to two. They did this right after World War II. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, had three terms. But they had enough. Congress just did two. Served enough. Even during the peacetime, during the Depression and war, passed away in office. Trump is older than that. Older than FDR, older than any other president we've got. And he thinks he can run a third. There was a congressman who proposed this as a joint resolution. HJ Resolution 29. Mr. Ogles of Tennessee. And in this joint resolution, and it was stuck in committee in the judiciary, been introduced in January 23rd of this year. There's been no actions taken on this damn thing except maybe listened to. No co-sponsors in one aspect, but another one, I'm being told on the internet that there was some more Republicans and Democrats listening about this one. But the problem is, Article 5 in the U.S. Constitution would state no person shall be elected to the president more than three times. Granted, nor be elected to any additional term, for that being elected for two consecutive terms, and no person shall hold the office of president or act as president for more than 2 years of a term. Basically, we actually had a 4-year term. It was increased, but stabilized just only what they call two terms for the president, which is 4 years, which we've been living under for decades. Congress has to keep running every 2 years to stay in office. And there was technically no term limits, but they were still trying to put it out there for decades. They just never bothered to ratify, certify, and made an amendment out of the damn thing. Or made it into a law. They never had the votes for it. Or they had willingness, but just never had the votes for it to do term limits on congressional folks. But the office of the presidency, there was a sneaky maneuver on this one. If Trump ever terms out and his vice president tries to get the nomination and gets in office, would that sneak do a 25th Amendment on himself and get Trump into office? Only if Trump was going to be considered as a vice president, do a switch around? In this situation, he'd be breaking federal law. Still, and breaking the U.S. Constitution. He can only do 2 terms. That's it. Unless, of course, Congress does a royal sneaky, and I mean gets 2/3 votes in the chambers to do this thing, and to make this ratified, have a constitutional amendment in every state. Getting 2/3 of the House and the Senate to agree on it. 2/3, not half, 2/3. That's what it says in the Constitution, even in the amendment process. Trump will never get in at this point, unless they're going, shut up, Mom. She must be obeyed. It's been fussing at me all night. And now she's going to go in there and start screaming her head off again. Why? Because she wants me in there all the time. fussy, fussy old broad. Anyway, we have never had a precedent in our country's history where we have a president trying to wheel and deal and con his way into a third term for another 4 years. Then after that, then what? Is he going to do it again? Try to work with another Congress to get that approved? It's depending on how much he's already pissed off the people in the first place. Originally, he tried to do the popular vote, and he did, and he screwed over people left and right. This time, it's guaranteed. But now he's hoping that the Congress will look the other way and get him into office a third time. So he stays in. Stays in the power. But what happens if the people in the states say no? This is where it gets even worse. Because we have Elon Musk interfering with judges and electoral process. We also have the presidency looking into screw over that as well. I mean, you talk about the voter fraud that these guys screamed about when Biden's administration was going in and going up for 4 years. Now they're doing it. Now the Trumplicans are doing it openly. Trying to break federal and state laws to control voting. There's even been a national referendum or an idea he's trying to pop in. If he makes it into an executive order, I think he already has, to have the states be overridden by the federal. And where the federal calls the shots, but that can't be done. Because it was stated in the Constitution, it's up to the states for the voting. Got the implied powers to do so. Are the states now going to be willing to turn this thing over to the federal government? I think not. We do have a constitutional crisis. We have a president who doesn't give a shit. He wants power. He's willing to use it. He's willing to use anything and everybody, including a rich billionaire who doesn't give a shit about anything else. Except he cries over his damn company losing stock, what you had to save by throwing into another company he owns. How's that working? You want to make it into like a death sentence for anybody torching his beloved stock. You know, on that one. Vandalism is for the cars and for the building itself. It's not a federal crime. Unless they're going to be making a law in government for that one, having it ratified. Are we talking about tyrannical? Are we now talking about superseding local and state laws? Screwing over the implied powers that the federal government is going to be taking over everything and sitting over a precedent? I mean, already the independent medias are getting attacked one way or another. And this is happening on our watch. On the United States watch. We're seeing ourselves being destroyed inside and out. Yes, it's a mind blower. It's a mind blower. I'm dealing with a crazy dog. That's more of the precedent for my time, the immediacy of it. It's immediate. Concerning about what Trump is doing at this point, it's another diversion tactic. How to rile up the country and not look at what he's doing right now as it is. What is he doing now? He was pissing us off. He said it was the great unifier. For who? He loves this division. He thinks it's a competitive game show in his head. And we've got other people who keep thinking that he's mentally unstable. Well, I agree with that one. And now we gotta play kowtow to a lunatic in office. It's like dealing with King George III all over again. Do we have to have a revolution or a civil war at this point? I don't know what's worse. All the media attention concerning about a lunatic who just wants to get attention all the damn time, or a senior citizen who's screaming her head off left and right. The person cannot eat, sleep, or live without playing kowtow to a dog. But she is family. She is mine. And I'm her caregiver.